Hi everybody, so today I've got the Victoria Beckham Foundation Drops, so I can do a full wear test and try on today with this. But because I've had so many requests for a Victoria Beckham full face, I have put together some of my favourite products from Victoria Beckham, and they are all here along with some of her brushes, and I'm going to do an actual full face because I'd be quite interested to see how they all work together as well. So this is one of my favourite brands. I would never normally do a full face with a foundation, but because I really trust the actual products with Victoria Beckham, I'm happy to do it with the foundation because I know they work so well, and I have a feeling they really will work well together. So fingers crossed anyway, they should work together, shouldn't they? But I can't wait to get started with this. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Hannah, I'm 48, I'm not a professional, I'm just somebody who really loves makeup and beauty. Here on my channel I show you the latest releases, my favourite looks, and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy that content, I do upload here several times a week, and I would love it if you did subscribe. Lots of people tune in without subscribing, but if you could, that would be ever so helpful to me and I'd be really grateful. But if you're already subscribed, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate every single one of you. And my skin tone for everything we're looking at today, I have fair to light skin with predominantly cool undertones that can lean a little neutral. I've got blue eyes. I've also got combination skin, which is predominantly dry, but I do get a slightly oily T-zone. So anyway, that's enough about me. Let's dive straight into the Victoria Beckham review. Before I start with the foundation, I'll start with the primer. So recently this was reformulated and I picked it up in the rose shade. So this, along with the foundation, is also made in conjunction with, or in partnership with, Augustinus Bader. Is it Augustinus or yeah, Augustinus. I always worry I'm saying that wrong. So I'm only going to put the primer on one side of the face. So here is how the primer looked, if you want to see it on the back of my hand. So this will give me quite a glow. Now I know Victoria Beckham definitely said she uses the two together, but I'll just do it on the one side so we can see if it performs any differently on the other. So my job today, or rather tonight, when I do the check-in, is to remember which side I put this on. Maybe I need to put it on that side of the desk so that I don't forget. Honestly, the amount of reviews I'm doing at the moment, I cannot remember a thing. So feel free to tell me off if I'm getting all my sides muddled up. But anyway, this gives me lovely hydration. It's packed full of the excellent skincare, very similar ingredients actually to the foundation, which we'll be looking at obviously in more depth in a minute. So a bit of glow there. So with, without. And now let's look at the foundation. So here is the bottle. These are called the Foundation Drops with TFC8. 2 Fair Light is the shade I've picked up, which I think is going to work for me from looking at it. I have to say, this is £104, which I know has put off a lot of people. I think the price is very much down to the skincare because this is very much 50-50 skincare plus foundation. It's the fusion of the two, which I know we're getting with lots of foundations, but this is Augustinus Bader skincare, which is very pricey skincare, so that is why the price is that high. So the only thing I would say though is when you're paying just over £100, it's a plastic, fairly cheap case. It's not thin plastic, but I think I would have liked a glass bottle, something that's a bit more substantial, like the primer. It does seem a little bit cheap. It's not super thin, but anyway, that's my little whinge. So, does it say what the shelf life is on this anywhere? Actually, I can't see a shelf life, and I've thrown away the box, so that's not very helpful for you, is it? Sorry about that. Anyway, this will give me luminous, light to medium, buildable serum texture, or it is rather. It has a serum texture. It will give me light to medium coverage that's luminous, and it will be buildable. See, I can't even read a sentence. With a natural finish. It should give me 12 hours of that luminous natural feel finish, breathable, invisible coverage. And the skin benefits are the TFC8, which you can look into, which is called the Trigger Factor Complex. Yeah, a blend of high-grade vitamins, peptides and liptides, which help cell renewal. So that's the key thing really, isn't it? The cell renewal ability of that TFC8. Botanical and hydrating ingredients are also in this. So you get Echinacea purpurea, which is an extract for firming and plumping the skin. You get Spilanthes Acmela flower extract to smooth and increase density. Olive leaf extract to enhance texture and the moisture barrier. We get jojoba oil for hydration and redness reduction. Glycerin and pentylene glycol as humectants for moisture retention. Natural mineral mica for a soft, light, reflective finish. And this formulation is cruelty-free, vegan, non-comedogenic, silicone-free, soy-free, nut-free. It's made in Italy and we're getting 30 millilitres in here. And there are 19 different shades starting from 0, which is very fair, going all the way up to the darkest tones. I don't have it written down, sorry, but anyway, it does go right the way through, covering all skin tones. And a quote from Rebecca. From Rebecca? I was just talking to Rebecca. A quote from Victoria. I really need a day off, people. I really do, honestly. I'll probably start talking a different language in a minute. Right, Victoria said, "We created the foundation drops for minimalists like me. This formula melts into my skin for a naturally flawless complexion and nourishes with Augustina Barda's TFC8 technology as I wear it. This is the first foundation that feels like nothing, yet truly does everything." So that's a big, big, bold claim. So let's find out. So let's give this one a big shake, because apparently you really do need to mix the two together, the skincare and the foundation. And then I'll show you what I've got shade-wise, which I think is going to be good. It does look quite pale, but hopefully it's not too pale for me. So shade 2, Fair Light. It's not terribly cool. It's fair light. It's described as fair light with neutral cool undertones. I don't think in that sort of fair range they had one that was just cool undertones, but because I'm cool leaning neutral, when it says cool neutral, that's usually okay for me. So in Victoria's video, she did all of this with her fingers, and she did it quite gradually. So I'll do that on the one side, maybe the primer side only, and then I'll do it with a brush on the other. Now, I do have a lot of brushes from Victoria Beckham, but I don't have the foundation one, unfortunately. That is going on like a second skin. Look at that. Is there any work involved in this? Look, it's one swipe on, and that's pretty much in. I don't think I've ever put anything on that's gone on that quickly, and they have been getting fast this year. They are getting fast because my skin is just drinking them. So I have my full skincare base on today, my standard one of Milky Toner, Vitamin C, SPF, and now I've added the primer to this side. So this is the side of the face that is more hydrated. So I'd say that was a small pump. I don't know how you describe a pump when it's a squeezy tube, but I would say that's a small pump. Really is something you can apply with your hands. And the way she showed this, you see it and you think, oh, she's just putting it on perfectly because she knows what she's doing with it and she's familiar with the product. But no, it genuinely is as easy as Victoria made it look. Look at that. I will look very, very glowy and shiny on this side, but I do have that super glowy primer on. So we'll see what it looks like on the other side without that. Yeah, that has gone on absolutely beautifully, and I must say I genuinely feel as though I've got nothing whatsoever on my face. I will add a little bit at the end to see about the buildable claims, so I'll put another tiny bit on the back of my hand, and I will take definitely a Refa LCO3 job today because this is so lightweight. So I've taken that now. Dare I say it, I think this goes on better with my hand than it does with a brush. It goes on fine with a brush, but it went in beautifully with my hand. I don't think I've ever done a review where I use hands and say at the end, I think I'd rather use my hand. What do you think? All the redness on my nose completely disappeared, so it's good coverage with that light layer. I'd say it's sort of creeping up to medium already. It feels absolutely gorgeous, it really does. This is a beautiful foundation, there's no doubt about it, this is beautiful. So if this one wears well, we could be on to quite the winner here, as we have been with quite a number of foundations lately, let's be fair. Anyway, a tiny little bit more on the back of my hand there. And now tap it in. I feel like my brush absorbs a bit of this, so I almost use a bit more product. It's normally sponges that do that, but I feel like my definitely goes into the brush a bit more. This is exceptionally easy. I mean, this is going to be the quickest foundation you've ever put on your face. I genuinely believe that. And it's absolutely beautiful. It really is absolutely beautiful. Can you see the difference between the primer side and the non-primer side? It's definitely, I've still got a nice radiance. I've got a sort of double radiance this side, haven't I? But whether it wears better on this side, on this side because of that primer, we'll find out later. So let me put that primer on that side of my desk so I don't confuse sides later, as I said. I did say I'd show you if it's a bit more buildable, didn't I? So tiny bit more on the back of my hand, going in with the wrapper brush. So let's see this area here. If I zoom you in to see it a bit more close up. So let's see now, when I tap in a bit more with my brush. Again, I feel like the brush ate the product a bit. But it eats it, but then it does distribute it. Yeah, that's definitely given me more coverage. It's so weird. I find this hard to describe because it's almost like you can't see it going on, you can't feel it going on. It's almost like nothing's happening, but I feel like someone's just waved a magic wand and the foundation is in. And then you look and think, oh, wait a minute, it's done. What's going on there? That is really beautiful. Okay, maybe Natasha's in trouble. I thought that was the best one I've tried. Maybe Victoria's just knocked Natasha off the top spot. This is gorgeous. Wow. I love it. Please, please wear well because this is absolutely beautiful. So, a full face of the new Victoria Beckham foundation. What do you think? Very, very, very impressed. So let's move on to the next step of my makeup routine, which is contour. So this is the contour stylus pen from Victoria Beckham in the shade Travertine, a tried and trusted, well-loved contour stick. Nice and easy to take up and down the nose and around the lips. Then into all of the other contour areas. Quite a generous amount because this is quite light on me, travertine. So this is one of the Victoria Beckham brushes, number 13, which is Sculpt and Blend. So I'm going to use this one today. And you'll see straight away that that contour is going in absolutely effortlessly into this foundation. Look how easy that is. I can say to you with absolute certainty that my favourite synthetic brushes on the market are Victoria Beckham. They are absolutely fabulous. I'm sure you've seen me many times this year since buying them saying, I'm just going to use my Victoria Beckham brush for eyes, for highlighter, for buffing, for bronzing. I don't use this one a lot for complexion. It's a little bit soft for my liking. But it does the job nicely. It's just not my favourite type of brush for this, but it is very good. But some of the others have become firm favourites and ones I use all the time. This doesn't take over from my Mario F4, which is the one I love to use for this, but it certainly works. And in terms of being the most beautiful, these are absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't tried any of these brushes, I strongly recommend you pick some up because they are absolutely beautiful to hold, beautiful to look at, and they work just like natural, I think. I really do. So now for concealer, and this concealer pen by Victoria Beckham also is the Augustina Spada skincare range. So this one, if you don't know, it's like a click up. Oops, I went too far then. Got a lot of product on the brush tip. Sorry it's a bit messy. I have actually used this a few times recently. I'm going to take that onto the back of my hand. So I didn't rave about this, and I'll tell you the main reason why. It doesn't give full coverage, it gives quite a light coverage, and I thought it was a bit overpriced for the amount you get. but then it's the same as the foundation, so it's overpriced because of the skincare. So it's probably, I don't think it's overpriced. I will have to go from one of my standard concealer brushes here. I don't have one like this from Rebecca. I keep calling her Rebecca. Honestly, I'm going to have to tell Rebecca this. This is so funny. We keep talking about how we're getting our words jumbled up because we're so tired. And now I keep calling Victoria Rebecca. It's so funny. Anyway, what was I talking about? I don't know. I was talking about how Augustina's POUDRE skincare is very, very expensive. So the minute you add it to a product like concealer, it's going to double the cost. So you will spend a pretty penny on this one. But I have used it a lot. I did say when I first reviewed it, I would use it every single day on holiday. I remember I had a holiday, which was actually a year ago. So this product is over a year old now. And I used it every day of that holiday. And I used it, I think, for another sort of 2 weeks when I got back, and I was expecting to report to you it's run out, but this is the same one. It hasn't run out, so it's surprising how much is in there and how long it lasts. So obviously if this is your only concealer, I would imagine you would have to replace it a bit more regularly. I'm going to put it into all the places I always put concealer. I don't always put it on the chin actually these days, because that can be a problem mixing a concealer with a foundation. And I will have to get my Mario brush for this. Sorry, Victoria, not Rebecca. Jeepers. Because I want to see, is this Augustina's POUDRE concealer going on top of the same formula in foundation? So they should really work together beautifully, which they absolutely are. Look how quick it is. Effortless, invisible makeup. Wow, look at that. I always apply the Victoria Beckham liquid blush with this, but I will try Victoria's brush today. So I have been completely obsessed with these liquid or even water blushes. What are they called? Colour Wash Blush Water Tint. I adore them. This one's in the shade Flushed, and this is the one I use the most. And I use this all the time, and look how much has gone. And I really do use it all the time. Even if I'm putting on a different blush, I still use this as a sort of base. So I'm going to put this, I've been using this bowl recently that I actually got with a perfume that was sent to me. It's just very useful. So I put a drop of this into my bowl. I just keep the bowl on my desk. So I will try it with this number 13 brush. So just literally swirl it round in the pan, in the bowl. And then just tap onto the cheeks. And this is just the most natural flush of beautiful blush. I absolutely adore it. I do like the coral, and I do like that deep sort of, is it like a plummy mauve type shade? I can't think what it's called now, but I have it here. I have all three of them on my desk. I don't think I've ever done that before with a blush. They might sometimes go to my favourites drawer, but to stay on my desk means they're a daily product for me, that there's a good chance I want to reach them every single day. And this is one of those products that I absolutely want to reach for all the time. So that's just giving me a soft flush. So I'm showing you as well how this can be your sort of no makeup day. So you've used the foundation, the contour, the concealer, and then this blush, which is just, I'm not going to build it up anymore. I just want that much. But what I will do is take a tiny bit on the lip brush. I think this is her lip brush, number 11, this double-ended brush. Anyway, on this end I've taken some. Now Victoria Beckham always applies this with her fingers, but it stains my fingers so badly. And let me tell you, this lip colour and this blush colour, it's there for the day. It really is. They lock in. They are fantastic. By the way, that little bit of concealer I got off the pan, I've still got that much left. I didn't need to go back for any more. So a little bit of that concealer goes a very long way. And I absolutely love it. Everything is looking so natural and so beautiful. What do you think? Delighted with that base. Absolutely delighted. Now I don't have a setting powder from Victoria Beckham, so I'm going to use this new travel size one from Chanel. This is the POUDRE Universelle LIBRE in the shade Rosy Light. I'd imagine setting powders will be coming at some point. if I said Rebecca again, I'm just going to have to say that if I say Rebecca instead of Victoria at any point in this video, just ignore me, because I don't even know which one I'm saying at the moment. This is quite embarrassing, just how scrambled I am. I keep saying, just take a day off. It's not going to hurt if it goes out a day later. But then I have another delivery of something and I'm like, oh, no, okay, no day off. But I'm reaching the point where my brain is saying, take that day off, you idiot, because I can't get my words out. So you're going to get a very strange video from me today. So I'm only going to set my eyes on my T-zone today because I want to see how this foundation coats without being fully set, although I will be using a bit of a powder bronzer from Victoria Beckham, not Rebecca Beckham. Honestly. So next, going into the Victoria Beckham bronzing brick. So this is the full title, Matte Bronzing Brick. Okay, that's it. I've got it in shade 02. So this has a sort of contour shade and a bronze shade. So I'll use this brush, which is number 15. This is one of the slightly bigger ones. I just love these handles, I adore them. If you watch my channel regularly, you will know I rave about these brushes, I love them. So I probably should have got this bronzer in the lightest shade. I bought this over 2 years ago now, before I was really thinking of my cooler tone life, which is what I've changed to this year. I was wearing so much tan in those days. I used to just buy colours that fitted in with my tan. So this is probably a little bit too deep for me in all honesty, but if I just go for this side and not the darker side with this brush, just very lightly tapping it, it works fine. But the main thing to notice here is that it's going on top of the foundation beautifully. It's certainly not going on in a patchy way or gripping onto certain areas like finding dry spots or anything. They're working together absolutely beautifully. So I think that's plenty because it is quite deep for my new cool tone, real tone skin. So now for blush. If you're not familiar with these, they come in the sort of classic Victoria Beckham packaging. Very classy packaging, isn't it? Just like the bronzer, which is absolutely gorgeous. The bronzer has the same packaging as the eyeshadow trios. Are they trios or quads? No, they're quads, aren't they? I do have one here actually, but I don't think I'll use it today. I'm going to try applying this with that 13 brush again. So this is going now, the cream brush on top of the water tint brush and slightly on top of that bronzer. I don't want to take too much of it, but I definitely don't want to slide it onto my face because now I've added just too many products to risk that in all honesty. The brush is working actually beautifully and it's blending together beautifully. I don't think I need much more than that. No Playground is a very popular shade. I'm going to go in with my foundation brush to slightly tone that down because I think I actually put a bit more than I wanted. I do want to keep this look relatively soft today. So with what's left on the brush, the foundation is now going on top of powders, on top of creams, on top of water tint, and they're all just working together absolutely beautifully. This is a lovely experience, I have to say. So for highlighter, I've got the highlighter stick. This is in the shade Pearl. I think there has been one new highlighter come out recently in a darker shade. I think there's only 2. So I will use that same brush, but the smaller end, and I will take some of this on that small brush and then just tap a little bit. Even though I think I've got quite a nice glow and a bit of radiance already going on from the products I've used, that's exactly what this is going to add, a natural glow. It's not going to give me a glittery a glittery shiny highlight. It's going to give me a very, very natural pop of glow. You see that? Beautiful. I know some people have this as their holy grail. It is really good. Oops, I just picked up a chunk there. Yeah, the brush seems to be applying it very nicely. I'll take some of this down the nose as well, just a little bit. So for my eyes, I'm going to go into the bronzer again, and I'm going to use a brush that I use on pretty much every video these days, the number 20 blender brush. So I'm taking the lighter of the bronzers again that I used. And I'm going to put this into the crease. We're going for quite a simple look, but I'm going to use my favourite eye product from Victoria Beckham. I think that's probably enough. I'm finding this look exceptionally easy, and I think that's something that says a lot about the brand. These products are just exceptionally easy to apply, and I don't feel like I'm looking like heavily make-upped. I don't feel like it's looking overly unnatural at the moment. I mean, you could take it up when I start adding colours, like if I put a bold blue on or a bold green on now, but I'm not doing that today. I'm going for quite a simple look because I want to go with the theme of the foundation really. And this is the number 21 brush, which has these two different ends. So I'm going to use this end and go into the bronzer to run it underneath here. So for the eyes, I'm going with a lid lustre, and I adore these lid lustres from Victoria Beckham. I'm going with chiffon today, so I'm not going with a really colourful one. Like I said, I'm sticking with the theme, but I do love the colourful ones. Emerald was particularly impressive, and the blue. But I'm going to take some of this on that same brush and then just take this all over the lid. I think I'll probably go in with my finger to finish, or maybe I won't need to. It's worth noting that this is well and truly past its use by date. I'd say it's over 2 years old, so it should be dried out and useless. But it isn't. A little bit more on my finger, because I think my finger just sort of smooths the formula into my eye a bit better. I absolutely love them. So simple and quick and easy, but so beautiful. Just quickly finish the inner corner and under the brow with my classic black diamond. But now we have to go into one of the kajal liners from Victoria Beckham. This is my pot that I keep specifically for Victoria Beckham liners. The only brand that has its own pot, because I buy them all and I adore them. So now, which one should I use today? I might go with bronze. I haven't used bronze for a while. Or smoky quartz. I can't decide which one. Let me have a look at both of them again. So this is smoky quartz. So this is one of the dual finish ones. There's bronze. I think because I've already got quite a lot of gold, the bronze does look a bit gold leaning, doesn't it? So I'll go with smoky quartz, which is one I do tend to use a lot actually. It's one of my favourites. I'm just taking a little bit underneath, small wing, tight to the lash line. Classic eye look for me. And then these just blend out beautifully with the brush on the end. One of the only eyeliners that comes with a blender that actually works. And then I'll be adding my mascara. Now I do really like the Vast Lash mascara from Victoria Beckham, but I haven't replaced mine. And the one I've got is a bit dry and I probably shouldn't use it anymore. So I'll go off camera and I'll do my mascara, and then we'll be back to finish the lips. I've added some mascara, but the eyeliner, by the way, that should be there this evening when I do the check-in. You can see for yourself, but it is one of the best, most long-lasting eyeliners, one of the creamiest, easiest to apply on the planet, and that's the reason I collect every single shade. So now I'm going for a lipstick. I've just taken it out actually. If you want to see the packaging, it's exactly the same. Sorry, it won't focus now. Exactly the same as the blush packaging. Just a slightly more narrow bullet. So what shade have I picked up here? I've got two shades. This one is Jump. These are a lovely hydrating formula with quite a bit of shine. And this is probably 2 years old. And it's going on as though I bought it today. That's one thing about doing these full face videos. I love the way I'm going back to try makeup I love, and I'm not just trying new things. I love doing that. I think 2 years later I still love this as much as when I first tried it. Gorgeous. And I do have some glosses as well. My favourite one being Martini, because I just have to add a bit of sparkle to everything. So I do have just a more creamy type of gloss as well here from Victoria, so you don't have to go for the full sparkly ones. So I've got this one, but that one does give you quite a bit of colour. This one is just giving you a little bit of a sort of golden sparkle, the Martini, so I really love this one. So I'll add a bit of Martini across the top. I don't particularly need the extra hydration, it's just that little bit of shine and shimmer. Slightly going more with the eye look then. But there we go, that is my full face of Victoria Beckham. The only thing we haven't got is a setting spray, so I can't use that today, but I would rather not anyway because I want to see how the foundation goes. But everything has worked perfectly with the foundation. I am absolutely loving the way this is looking. And if you're a collector of Victoria Beckham like I am, you have no problems reusing all of your Victoria Beckham products with this foundation, because everything has worked together beautifully, old products and new, Augustina Spada and just Victoria Beckham. So everything is working absolutely brilliantly. So I'm off now to continue with my day. I'll come back to see you with a check-in, and I'm off to send a message to Rebecca to let her know that she's now called Victoria. See you later. Hi everybody, so I'm here with a 9-hour check-in for this foundation, and I've just looked in my magnification mirror and I can tell you without any exception this is the best check-in of the entire year. In fact, I'd be quite surprised if I've had a check-in this good before, because it looks exactly the same. I mean, you've just seen me 2 seconds ago and now you see me 9 hours later, so maybe you don't think so, but I don't feel like it's worn off. I haven't got like red patches where I've lost my foundation, but what I just cannot detect anywhere in the mirror is where it is. It's not gone into lines, it's not gone into smile lines, which never happens. There's even my best foundations, there's a little bit gone into smile lines, there's a little bit caked here. There's absolutely nothing. It is literally like my skin has absorbed it. As I said when I applied it, it's just sunk in, it's vanished, but it's left me looking polished, and that is how I would describe it. It is literally, it's not there. And it's felt comfortable all day without me fully powdering, although because I've got almost a phobia about tackiness, where I've literally got no powder at all is this area here, where I don't even have bronzer. So I only powdered the T-zone lightly, and then I've got a little bit of bronzer here. So the tackiness there is pretty much none. So I didn't need to fully powder my face. That little bit of bronzing powder gave me enough to have zero tackiness, but I can ever so slightly feel tackiness here, and I really do mean it's like a phobia, because it's certainly not a tackiness that's going to, oh, that's my lip. That's my lip oil that did that. Let me show you again. It's not a tackiness that's going to cause my hair to stick to my face by any means. I've got the Fenty lip oil on. That's why that just happened with my lips. It's absolutely wonderful. Let me zoom you in to show you, so you can just appreciate just how fabulous this is. All these trouble zones where I always have problems. I mean, possibly you could say my nose looks a tiny bit red. So maybe it's ever so slightly worn off, and I'll tell you why. Because I can feel oils coming through a little bit, but that's because I haven't really powdered it as much as I normally do, and that's what happens. I do have an oily T-zone, so that tells me if you've got a really oily skin, you may either not get on with it, or you just need to powder a bit more. I haven't repowdered, I haven't gone in and topped it, I haven't used a setting spray, so possibly there's a tiny bit of redness there, because I'm quite aware of feeling as though oils have slightly come through here. And actually my house has got really warm today. We've had this cool spell, but today the house has got really hot, so I've been quite hot as well. So maybe that's why that's happened ever so slightly, and I would imagine I've been going like this. In fact, I know I've gone like this because I've been feeling it. But that's still brilliant. It is still brilliant because it hasn't caked when it's done it either. So often when oils come through, it breaks up the foundation, it starts to look cakey, things start to mix together, but absolutely nothing here. It's phenomenal. So this is one I could put on in the morning, go out for the day, go out in the evening without coming home, without topping up, just keep a lipstick in my bag and be absolutely satisfied that it's going to stay looking fabulous. Okay, maybe a powder in my bag to go into the oily T-zone, which for me can be temperamental. Some days I don't get oil, some days I do, completely depending on what my skin is doing that day, time of year, hormones, whatever. But I'm absolutely blown away by this. I mean, I recently did the Chanel review where I showed you the new concealer from Chanel, the Ultra Latin foundation, and the new concealer to go with it. And I said this was the best trio, along with the, where are you? The Chanel powder I actually used in this video. I said it's the best trio ever. But you know what I really want to try now? I want to try the, where are you? Here we are, I'm getting there. I want to try these two, because this is the best concealer I've tried. I'd love to see if they work together, because this will give me more full coverage than the Victoria Beckham one. I'd love to see if these two work together, because if they did, this could be the combination of all combinations. I already know the Chanel powder works well, but wow, this is something. Now, I did remember which side my primer's on. It's sitting on my desk on the left. So do you think there's a difference between left and right? It's funny because I almost feel like there's a bit more radiance on this side than there is on this side now. Maybe that's just the way I applied my highlighter. Maybe I was a bit more generous with the highlighter there. That's the only thing I can think of, because I can't actually see a difference. I don't think it's affected the wear time. So if you've got oily skin, my suggestion would be to absolutely skip this. You don't need it when you've got that foundation going on, because it's already going to give you so much of a hydrating type of foundation. So if you do, I would give this a go, because it's worked so well even in my oily area. Just powder the oily areas, I think, is the way forward. But if you've got, like me, combination skin, which is mostly dry, you don't need to powder anywhere really, apart from a little bit in the T-zone, and you can leave it. Or if you're like me and you've got this complete phobia about any sensation of anything on your face, if it doesn't feel bone dry and smooth as powder, like really smooth, I don't like it. So all day I've wanted to come here. Like, I always want to do my neck, and I don't put a lot of foundation on my neck. And why is my neck sticky? That's because of my SPF. So I literally powder my neck to stop the tackiness I feel from my SPF, because that's how much of a tacky phobic person I am. I've just made that term up, but there we go. But anyway, this is more than a 10 out of 10. This has to be, it's the best wear test for 2025. Fact. For me anyway. That's what it is. So if you've tried this, so far I've only had, I think, one friend message me saying they'd tried it and they just said wow, and I didn't ask them any more about it. I wanted to get my full experience. So I would love to know now what everyone's response has been to this, if you've tried it or if you've heard other people's. I would love to hear. Am I alone in being wowed, or is everyone having this wow reaction? Because for me, this is worth it. When something costs this much, it has to wow you, and my goodness has this wowed me. From the way it applied, the way it sunk in, how easy and quick it was, the way everything worked on top of it. I used water formulas, cream formulas, powder formulas, everything worked with it beautifully. It's worn beautifully. It's magic. I love it. I absolutely love it. The Natasha Denona blew me away. That Chanel blew me away. This one double blew me away. Wow. So there we go. And I haven't managed to call Victoria Beckham Rebecca in this section. Maybe I didn't mention the word Victoria, maybe that's why. Anyway, I will now hand you over to me saying goodbye. So by now you will have seen my check-in video, so you know better than I do how this has gone, but I'm really hoping I've just given you fabulous news, because I am absolutely over the moon with the way I'm looking with this full face. I think that this has been a fabulous day. I've really enjoyed using all of Victoria Beckham products. I really have. It makes me want to wear her line all week now, because they're just, I remember just how much I love them, like the Lid Lustre. I know the liners, I use them all the time, and I do use the water tint on my cheeks pretty much all the time. But some of the products I haven't gone back to, like the bronzer, the Lid Lustre shade. I haven't used chiffon for a while, and I haven't used the lip products in a while, so it's been nice to remind myself just how exceptional this line is in general. So anyway, I really hope that this has been a successful wear test and that I don't have any bad news for you, which you already know about. And like I said, I don't, because I'm saying this before I filmed the wear test, but hopefully it was good news, because I've thoroughly enjoyed putting on all of this Victoria Beckham makeup. I absolutely have. One of my favourite brands, and a brand that no matter what is launched, I'm always interested, always excited, and will always buy, whether I'm doing this job or not. I would always buy Victoria Beckham because I absolutely adore this brand. I really do. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please do hit the like button, and if you're not subscribed, I would love it ever so much if you did hit the subscribe button. But if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being here at the end of another review. I really do appreciate you, and I really truly hope to see all of you again for my next video. Take care everybody, bye!